4, 3, 2, 2, 1.
Ooh, we are live. People come in, tune in, watch us. We are here.
Okay.
Come on in.
Come on
In the room. That's what we need to, yeah, we need to start doing hymnals.
Yeah.
I'm really upset that I have my little celebration glass and you do not.
Yes, bring the attention to the glasses.
It's a little sick. It's cute. It's a cute sip.
Save it. Just a little.
You want to taste?
No.
It's good. Come on in, people.
I do like the bubbles, though.
It's pretty.
Mm-hmm.
Come on in. The sweet spot.
The sweet spot. What is wrong with you?
It's Thursday.
Woo,
One more
happy
day to
Thursday.
Friday.
I hope y'all are having a good week so far.
Oh my goodness.
How's your week going?
It's been going good. Let's get this intro out the way. I'm Rae.
I'm Favor.
And this is your reality check. How many people we got with us so far? They need to come on in.
Y'all better come on.
We got a lot to talk about.
Too many.
And I'm ready to get to talking. But yeah, I mean, I've had a good week. Last week, I talked about it last week though, on the show. But last week was just one of those weeks where it was like every little thing. It was like, there were like little things that were happening just to piss me off. I know it. And I was kind of like letting everything roll off my shoulders. But they were all kind of like mounding up to like a big thing. You know what I mean? It's like one thing after the other. I don't know what was going on last week, but through it all, I feel like now looking back on it, I feel like it was just like one big test. You know what I mean? To kind of like test my patience, test my strength, like test my mind. I did good. Because usually, I told you that, but usually any one thing could go wrong. It could just completely ruin my day.
Yeah.
But that I also feel like is something, and this might sound crazy, but I feel like it has to do with the weather too. Like in the springtime.
My family thinks I'm crazy because I tell them that I move with the sun.
Yeah. But you are more likely to get over it. So like if I were, something pissed me off right now, but I went right outside and the sun was out.
Yeah.
I'm like 10 times more likely to get over it than if I'm going outside and it's cold and frigid and ice and snow. Ugh.
Continuous discomfort.
All of that. So, this week's topic
My
is
week was great.
What? Oh. How was your week, Favor? I'm so sorry. I'm anxious. We talked about that too. How was your week? It's not fine. How was your week?
My week was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good. It's been, creatively, it's been very productive. And I'm learning a lot about myself and other people. So I feel good.
What do you feel like is the greatest lesson that you've learned about yourself so far?
The greatest lesson,
or even just in this week. I don't want to say your whole life.
Okay. No.
That's a lot.
That's so much. But this week, I would say that I'm not alone. I'm not completely misunderstood.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because that's been a big thing for me. And just, trying to learn how to communicate with people. But there are people who actually, understand me.
Yeah.
That's been good for me.
Yeah. And then, like you said, it kind of helps you to realize when you see that there are other people out there that can communicate the same way that you can. It makes you see, like, okay, it's not me. You know what I mean? Because that's the thing. It's easy to say that, but it's never you. Yeah. You know? Absolutely.
Sometimes it's me.
Sometimes.
But most times, like 99.99, it's not.
So we are going to jump right into our topic of discussion for the night, y'all. We are talking about winning in the midst of your losses.
Ooh. Bring it around.
It gets deep. Yeah. It gets really deep.
But it also gets broad.
Yeah. One thing I can say is I hate, learning curves. Yeah. As far as if you have to learn something new, I hate the whole process that you have to go through to get there. So I hate the failures that you have to go through to get to that point. Yeah. You don't just wake up and you're good at something. You actually have to practice it and fail a couple of times to get to that point. And so that is something that I've definitely just learned. And I feel like now that I completely learn, or I completely understand learning curves, it helps me to appreciate my wins all the more.
Yeah.
Because I have had to go through that process.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I totally understand that. I'm always like, the little wins, they never seem to faze me at all. I need the big ones.
Yeah.
Because the small losses, I'm like, nothing's working out.
Yeah.
Nothing's gonna, but I have to, bring myself back.
Yes.
all the time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so I'm the same way.
We both watched this interview by Gary Vee. And for those who don't know who this is your homework for this week. Make sure you go listen to Gary Vee. He is so amazing and so dope. If you don't want to hear any cussing, don't listen to him because he's gonna cuss. He's a harsh realist, but an awesome motivational speaker. And one of the things that he said in this video that we watched was that he doesn't listen to people that quote unquote like gas him up. He doesn't listen to those people that love him or think that he walks on water. At the same time, he doesn't listen to those people that are the naysayers either. So it's almost like, it's crazy because we always talk about not listening to negativity, only listen to the positivity. But a lot of times, if we are only listening to that positivity, it can kind of make us like complacent.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like we're doing okay where we are.
Yeah. And you never are. You honestly like never are, because one thing that I keep trying to say like to myself is like, what you thought of, somebody else thought of already.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? How can you make it yours? How can you perfect it and bring yourself out of that thing? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one thing that I liked about what he said about that is, first of all, I like how he had the audience yell like,
yes.
And he's like, I don't hear you.
Right.
I don't hear you.
And they were thinking that he was saying like, we
Say
it
it
would be
louder.
louder, right?
I don't hear. But he said, I don't want to be high on my own supply.
Wow.
And that was so like, that's just it.
Yeah.
Because once you are, it's just like, well, where do you go from
Yeah.
here? So I always feel like, there's just more, and there's so many people we can connect with.
Yes.
Stuff like that. But if you feel like you're just doing it, then you feel like you're on top.
Absolutely.
And
yeah.
That's nowhere.
One thing that I think of too is like, a lot of people might call this person negative Nancy, but I feel like in your circle of friends, you need that person that's gonna, if you're performing, if you're, whatever your craft is, you need that one person that's gonna be like, yeah, that was good, but you need to do this a little bit better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It might piss you off at that
definitely.
moment, especially if you're on a high and everybody is telling you that you did great at something. You need that person to kind of bring you back to reality, so that's something that you can focus on for the next time that you do that thing.
No, absolutely.
And when that's a real person and when it's hating. Because a lot of people will be like, oh, they just hating.
Because it depends on who that person is.
Yes,
you
and
can't
who they
take
are
it
to
from
you.
from everybody, but that person in your circle.
Yes.
The key is to not get stuck there.
Ooh. So how do you avoid listening to or getting wrapped up in the negativity or even the false perfection when that's all that's around us?
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just feel like at some point you have to just tune into yourself and hope and pray that you can stay there.
Yeah.
Because I know, like, for me, I go into these, like, cycles of...
Yeah.
All right, thank you for the good. Oh, God, the bad. No, I'm doing me. Thank you for the good. Oh, God, the bad. And it's just like, okay, where do I find my balance?
Right.
And what's in the center of all this? So I feel like it's hard not to hear the negativity, just like it's hard especially not to hear the positivity.
Yeah.
And to just stay, in your own head and hope that it's good. So what do you think? You know
what? My mom used to say that when I was younger and in school, I had the hardest time keeping my mouth shut. It didn't matter who.
I bet.
It didn't matter who the teacher sat me by. Like she went. But the thing is, like in my mind, I would be like, but I'm getting my work done. I'm getting great grades. Aww. But she would like move me around the class to try to get me to shut up, even by the weird kid. I would just keep talking.
You know who you are.
Exactly. But I would just keep talking to him just because it was just interesting.
Yeah.
So I remember my mom having this conversation with me. And she would be like, when you go to school, think of it like being in a race. When you're in a race, you put your blinders on, right? You don't look on the right of you. You don't look to the left of you. You're looking at what is straight in front of you. And what's in front of you? The finish line. When the finish line to me is like that goal. or whatever it is. But the thing is, the person that is really in it for the race, this is not going to be their last one, right? So I've mastered this thing. Yeah, exactly. I've mastered this thing, and I go to the next thing, and I'm looking at that next finish line.
Yeah.
But that's the reason why I feel like a lot of people get caught up. Is because they're so focused on who's on the left and to the right of them. Now, one thing that I do love, though, is I love to get inspiration from people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I love to get inspired by people. I love to go and see, like, oh my gosh, what is this person doing? Oh, that's so dope. I would love to do something like that. How can I put my spin on it, my touch on it to make it, like we talked about earlier, like my own? What can I do? You know what I mean? Like with this thing to make it a little bit different.
Yeah.
So to me, I don't even know if it's like spinning the positivity to look at it in that light, or if it's just because a lot of people just get wrapped up in envy too.
Yeah.
You know?
That's definitely a thing.
But the thing is, and we've said this, I feel like before, is that people need to realize that nobody is going to put like the crap that they have to go through, that they've gone through to get there on social media. They're going to show you that they are there.
Yeah. And even if they do show you a little bit, they ain't gonna show you the whole story. And then even if they do show you the whole story, it's not gonna be your story.
Oh no, not at all. Exactly.
You can see all the shit, and you're still gonna go through something else that doesn't compare.
Absolutely.
Because it's your own mind. So
now let's say like you want to get into something, a new craft, a new career, whatever it is, right? And you start doing this thing, but all you are experiencing are failures. Like you constantly just experience losses. You're not winning anywhere. How can you? At what point do you decide? You know what? I need to go ahead and just drop this and continue.
I guess it depends on what you're in it for. If it's something that you're not like passionate about.
Yeah.
Then if it's all about a certain win that you're looking for, then that's just it. But if you have passion and that's driving you, then you don't stop.
Passion is good too, because I feel like my last 31 years on this earth, I didn't, or I say 30 years on this earth, I didn't realize until this birthday that passed what passion really was. Because I thought and felt like passion was something that you're just good at. And that's not it. You know what I mean?
What changed?
I feel like what changed was me actually figuring out and praying and finding out what it was that I was passionate about, you know?
Yeah.
And like, and I remember people telling me, like, once you find that thing, you're going to know.
Oh, yeah.
And I would get impatient, like, well, how will I know? You know what I mean? Like, how am I going to know? Like, you know what I mean? Because it's just, like, so many different things. And I'm, like, diving in. I'm, like, taking bites of every little thing here, like, on the buffet or whatever. Like, okay, maybe it's that one. Maybe it's that one. Maybe it's this one. And it happens to not be any of those things. And you get discouraged after a while.
Yeah.
And that, to me, was, like, the biggest loss, to have like everybody around you like so sure or so knowledgeable, or knowing that this is my thing and this is what I'm gonna do and this is what I'm gonna pursue. And I'm looking at them like, well,
no, it's not.
How do you know?
Yeah.
But how do you know that that's the thing? You know what I mean? How do you get into it? But when I tell you, like, it's literally like almost an obsession, something that you can't put down, something that you're thinking about all day, and it's just like, oh my God, I don't care how I'm gonna get here, I just gotta get here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That, to me, now I can feel and sense that that's a passion.
Yes, and that's the thing, like, it's all within you. Like, because everybody can say, oh, you are so good at this, this is clearly what you were made for.
Yeah.
But if you don't feel it, then that's
not
just
true.
Yeah. And then if you hold on to what other people are saying, it can feel discouraging because you don't feel fulfilled by it.
Yeah.
So I think that I commend you for trying different things. I will say that. Yeah, for real though, because some people will, try to people please and just say, they say I'm made for this, so let me do it.
Yeah.
But to go around and try to, find what you love and your passion, that's some deep shit. Good for you. Give my friend a hand clap. Put your hand claps in the comments.
I want to know how many people we have watching right now.
Do we have some comments?
We've got 5. Do we have any comments? Hi, people.
Can you talk
Thank you for tuning in to Reality Check.
Cardi says her hair, talking about you. Sharice said, Brian said she just loves you too. And then Shevin said, follow your intuition gems.
Oh, yay.
Thank you guys
so much. Thank you for tuning in this evening. We are loving this conversation. Please chime in with us. Give us some of your thoughts, your greatest losses, things that you've learned. How did you find your passion?
Yes.
We want to know it all because everything that you guys have, you might drop some gems that we actually haven't said already, some input and some thought that we haven't mentioned here. So yes, please spill it. That's what Reality Check is for.
Yeah.
Oh, I just had a thought and it just completely left my mind.
Oh no, let's talk about something else so you can come back to it. Because once you start talking about something else,
it'll come right back. I want to know, for the people that are tuning in right now, please let us know what your passion is, how you found it.
Are you walking in it?
Yeah, are you walking in it? Are you fearful to walk in it? Because that's one thing. Oh, that's what I was going to say. Right back. One thing that we get caught up in all the times, and this is something that I know we've repeated before, we probably will continue to because it's so important for people to know, is that people think that at a certain age, and this was in the Gary V's in his in the video as well, people think that at a certain age you should figure out or know exactly what it is that you should be doing, when in reality it could not be until you're 55, 60 years old. Yeah. And it's crazy how we think that age, that's what he said, is old. And it's not, and it's actually a blessing to be able to get, you know what I mean, to see that age.
And to see that your mind is still creative there.
Yes, absolutely.
And you can still start there.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. It's never too late to start over. If you hate your job, and of course we're not telling you to go quit because we got to make money and pay bills. But there's, oh my gosh, Charlemagne said this. I love the Breakfast Club. But he said something like, I have the same 24 hours in a day that you have. You know what I mean? Like, it just depends on how you use it.
Yeah.
What are you doing with that extracurricular time that you have? Have you taken on a couple jobs, one to kind of support that dream that you have on the side? Are you really putting in that time to work towards that goal that you have on the side, you know? Because you can have faith all you want to, but if you're not putting the work in, you're not going to get there.
Yes, totally. I remember I was working this job, nothing personal. I was working this job, and he would always say, so you're doing your poetry, that's your side hustle. And I was just like, no, this is my side hustle.
Right. Clarify.
But then after getting laid off from that job and then going through so many other jobs, you start to lose confidence and you start to lose that, I guess, the motivation to like push because you don't have the money or whatever. And especially like when you have a kid and you have to take care of bills and stuff. But now I'm starting to see, like, now that I have a job that, they're super supportive of my art and they're super supportive just of me as a person. Yeah. And I'm just seeing, like, why did you let that go? Like, what happened? But also picking that back up and knowing that I still can. Yeah. Like, not feeling like, oh, I just let it go. No, I'm back now. That doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's so easy to get caught in, the struggles of life.
Because that's the easiest thing to do. Yeah. Something that's worth having isn't going to be easy.
Oh, yeah.
So sure. It's like, and especially in your passion, your dream, that thing that you want to do, it's not going to be easy. But I think that's also kind of what separates those that are going to get it and those who aren't. Yeah. Because you can talk all day and say that you want to be an artist, you know what I mean? But if you're not, again, putting that work in, you know what I mean, and willing to take those losses, that's something else that we have to think of. It's not going to be a cakewalk. Yeah. You're going to have to take losses in order to win.
And sometimes the gems are in the loss.
Yeah.
Because, honey, I found a whole EP in my life.
Yes, come on.
And it's beautiful.
Yeah.
But seriously, like, going through all that pain and stuff and all that feeling low about myself, I was able to create something out of it. And it's just like, well, this is my passion. Yeah. And it's still building. Even when I lost the confidence, it's still building.
But isn't it crazy how you don't realize it when you're in it? When you're in it, you're just, the world is crashing.
How terrible.
Yeah, this is the worst. And then you get through it and you look back and you're like, It's like a little speed bump. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But that's after you come out.
After.
Now, being present in it and still seeing that, that is a whole nother level. And I cannot wait.
Yeah. And that's the thing, kind of like circling back to last week as well. You need relationships to help you get through those losses. Yeah. To help you win. Because a lot of times and this was, I can't remember where I heard this from, but it was like, it's almost like you can't see yourself. Even though like you can hold a mirror up to yourself, you can't see the things that other people see within you. And sometimes, although we talked about not getting gassed up by the positivity, but sometimes you need people to tell you what it is that they see in you for you to realize that I gotta keep going, I gotta keep doing this. Especially if somebody has told you how your passion has impacted them, or even them seeing your grind has, you know what I mean, been able to speak to them as well. That's something that I love. I love when people are like, the fact that you were able to keep going, or the fact that you did this or you did that, you know what I mean? Like in my mind, I'm like, all right, you know what I mean? I gotta keep going. I gotta keep doing this.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's almost like them agreeing with that little itty bitty voice in your head that's like beneath all the stuff that's telling you, oh no, I'm not doing anything.
Right.
But thank God for the good people.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
What do you think is aside from the greatest lesson that you learned this week, what would you say is the greatest win that you've had this week?
Win? Let's start with you. You know what? Take me a minute.
The greatest win that I had this week was just knowing that I got through last week.
Yeah.
And knowing that I can. Because something that I am is extremely impatient. And after going through last week, that doesn't mean that I'm the most patient person on earth. Not even close. But I know that I'm equipped with the tools to get through. You know what I mean? Stuff. You know, and it's like without having to scramble and wonder and figure out how am I going to, and freak out and stress and have all this anxiety and get emotional without having to do all of that. Sometimes it calls for that, but without having to do all of those things, I knew that I could get through last week. And that was something that I kept telling myself, like, just to kind of motivate myself. And that's something I encourage you to do as well out there, listeners. Like, if you have, like, a favorite scripture, a favorite verse, a favorite quote that you like to say to yourself, somebody that you like to talk to, when you're going through those downtimes, it doesn't even have to be necessarily, like, a breakdown. But when you have a week or a day like that, just being able to kind of, like, revert back to that thing and realize, like, I love to be like, I can do all things through Christ. You know what I mean? I got this. You know what I mean? Like, I got this. And like, that was something I just kept saying, like, to myself, like, all through last week. So I think that was probably my greatest win. Just being able to get through it. Ooh, honey.
No, absolutely. Because sometimes it just be like, I'm going to quit.
Yeah.
No, we're not going to quit. And also, you guys comment your biggest wins.
Yes.
Because we want to know. Talk to us. But my biggest win this week, I would say, is recognizing where I am, like, in my soul and my spirit right now, and doing something about it.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I'm, like, cleansing right now, and I don't want to, like, go into detail about that, but just cleansing right now and just coming back into my natural free self.
Yeah.
And not... Which is crazy because this video that we just watched is exactly what I needed, because, you know, sometimes I get crowded up in these voices.
We all do, yeah.
These voices, sometimes the positive, sometimes the negative, but I have to get back to why I started and what I'm trying to do, because even if they're good, some people's will project their motivation on you. Yeah. And it's like, I understand, thank you for seeing that in me, but that's not what I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
Like, this is for me at least, this is a little bit deeper for me, and I need to take time with it. So I'm glad that I was able to see that and recognize that and then do something about it. Because now I feel like I know where to go from here. Yeah. And now I feel like, okay, this is why I did that. This is why I wrote this. And now I can, do with what I need to do. So, I'm glad. I'm glad for this week.
I love that. That is awesome.
Yeah.
Do we have any comments?
Shannon says his scripture is Galatians 6:9, and your husband said that you doing witchcraft.
I've never been a witch.
Goodness. That was the only two that we had. Thank you guys so much for tuning into us as we get, well, it's just like, I feel like this is like always like a good like therapy session. And it's so perfect like the day that it falls on Thursday. When it's like you get ready to close out the week. But it's almost like you said, like a cleansing. When you said that, it's so funny because like we talked about earlier, cycles. I always go through like this cycle where I'm like, okay, I'm going to cleanse. Yeah. You know what I mean? But one thing I can say, like whatever it is that I've given up, a lot of times it's just like a change in my diet.
Yeah.
If I just decide to like eat fruits and vegetables or something like that, it's just crazy. Like how, you know what I mean? Like how much that stuff can impact you, but it also like positively impact you, but also like just your mind, like you think more clearly.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Without all that heavy
completely
stuff.
Off topic, but I just thought about that. Yeah,
it's
like
definitely on
you know
topic.
what I mean? Yeah. So that's another thing. I just make sure that you're watching like what you put into your bodies, because what you put in is definitely like what you're gonna get out.
Hence the cleanse.
Hence
put
the
that
cleanse.
On a t-shirt. Hence the cleanse.
That's cute. I
like
like that.
Hence the cleanse.
Yeah. Because then people are like, what does that mean? And you get to explain it. Oh my gosh. Have you ever had a loss, and forgive me if you've mentioned this already, a loss that you just felt like almost like you just felt like you were going to give up on your passion, on your thing?
I don't think so.
No?
Not like give it up.
Yeah. Do you feel like that's how you know it's your passion, because you won't?
Yeah, almost, because I feel like to give that up is to give up myself. So, and I feel like that's the passion.
Yeah.
Because you can't.
Yeah.
You just can't. Have you?
No.
Talk about this now.
No, like I feel like, well, now that I feel like I'm living, I feel like I'm going through that phase where it's just like the excitement.
Yeah.
Oh my God. You know what I mean? I found it. I know exactly what it is
and
that I want
once
to do.
you found it.
Yeah. And like, I'm trying to think of a better word to use aside from obsessed, because I have like a negative connotation in my head of obsessed.
Really?
But like I think about it all
That's
the time.
the word
I think
that
about
I
it all the
use.
time. Okay.
I'm
so
gonna obsess over this.
Yeah, I'm obsessed. I dream about it. I wake up and I write about it, and I'm like,
I love it.
you know what I'm saying? Like, and it's almost just like I compare it to this. And I don't know if anybody else is going to feel the same way about their passion, but I compare it to, you know, when you go on, do you like roller coasters, first of all?
Yes.
When you're going up a roller coaster, and it's like, all right, what is it? What is it? Where are we getting to? And it's like, you get like right on that cliff, and then it's like, it just drops you straight. And it's just like this complete rush of adrenaline that you can't let go. You can't even like describe it. And then it's over. And you're like, oh my God, I want that feeling back.
We're going to get back in line.
You know?
And do it again.
And do it again. That's what I feel like about, you know what I mean, about this thing. And that's one of the things that I feel like Gary Vee was trying to say, like, in the video. Because a couple of things, and I feel like that's why he goes around to so many schools, because so many students, 22 years old, you know, or like 18 to 22, whatever it is, they get so obsessed with, like, I think one guy was even like, I just want to be able to, like, lay on the beach and not be, like, I don't want to have to worry about anything or do anything. And it was almost like, he was kind of like, well, what is that? Because at some point, you're going to get tired of laying on this beach. Yeah. And at some point, you're going to get tired of getting all these free glasses of, you know what I mean, of whatever, and getting all this free food. And you're going to have to get back to,
you're going to want to.
Yeah, what are you made for? What are you supposed to be doing? Yeah. Because that's when I believe that everybody has a calling. I don't believe that everybody's going to find it. But I believe and feel like everybody has a thing that they're supposed to be doing. Yeah. You know? Yeah. And that was also something, he was like, I can show you so many millionaires that have made it, but they made it because, like, they're smart, they're good at something, but not necessarily doing what they're passionate about. Yeah. You know? Yeah,
and he talked about the people who are making $80,000.
Yeah.
Who are, like, happy.
So happy.
With their kids.
Yeah, absolutely. Doing those things that they love and want to do.
Yeah. I liked when he talked about patience. Ooh. Because that is something that I know myself. Struggled. I remember, I'm so naive. I remember when we first went into the studio with Marquise, I told him, all right, it was probably like February. I told him, all right, I want to have this out by summer. He's just like, I guess. I mean, people have done it before, and I'm just like, all right, cool. I got 5 songs. I want to write them, produce them, blah, 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 have it out by summer.
Yeah. Because you didn't know the work that it was going to take.
Yeah, and it was my first time.
Yes.
But it just takes time.
Yeah.
And it takes experiencing things. It takes learning someone else. It takes all of that. It takes learning what you want to hear. It takes learning yourself.
Yeah.
All of that. And
but also
you can't
think
put
about
a time limit on it.
If you had, if you stuck to that and you're like, no, I have to have it out. Like, what would that have looked like? What would that have been?
Yeah.
It wouldn't have been you, and it would have been rushed.
And it would have been a terrible experience.
Yeah, it would have been a terrible experience.
Yeah.
And it would not have been, it would not, I feel like it would have still impacted people, but I don't feel like it would have had as great of an impact as it did because you took your time on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you even had experiences during that process that might have made you go back and say, let me tweak this actually. You know what I mean? Let me move.
And that's exactly what happened. Yeah. And I was so thankful that he made me slow down, because that first time he's just like, okay, but then he's just like, you have to trust the process. And he kept telling me that. And I will say, kudos to you, Goldfrey, because he would constantly say, you have to trust the process. And I'm just like, I don't trust the process. Like, I just don't.
Because you just want it.
I just want it now. And I've never done this before, but I think that I can do it, so let's do it.
Yeah.
So, but I'm so glad that we didn't, and
that you had somebody in your corner that wasn't just like, all right, sure, whatever you want, whatever you want, whatever you know what I mean? Because you don't need that. Like you don't need yes people in your corner.
I don't like them.
Right. Exactly. But yeah, no, that is so true. The patience and just like you said, just trusting the process. Yeah. And you don't get to say when the process is over because it's never gonna be. There's stages and levels to this process. Yeah. Once you're finished here, all right, now let's
keeps unfolding.
Exactly. It continues to unfold. And sometimes it might seem frustrating, but one thing that I always like to think about too is the fact that what you've gone through can be something that you speak to somebody else about while they're trying to get to the point that you have probably gotten to or where you're trying to reach. You know, that's another thing, like just not being selfish with your knowledge. I feel like the people that are in my circle, the people that I know, I'm just so blessed because I don't feel like I have anybody that's selfish. You know what I mean? Like with what they know. And I feel like it's purposely done. I didn't want anybody that would, I surrounded myself with that would be like that. You know what I mean? Because I'm not that kind of person. I want you.
Why are you?
Yeah, why? For what?
Yeah.
For what? There's room enough for everybody. And if I'm truly your friend, I want you to make it as much as me, or if not 10 times more. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Because if you know something, I want to know it too.
Come on, exactly. So. Absolutely. So don't surround yourself with selfish people. And you'll know these people. You'll know. These people that are holding out.
They'll tell you very quickly.
And they're not going anywhere.
You don't think so?
The people that are the selfish people? Nah. I think that to an extent you do have to be selfish because you have to put yourself first in several scenarios. But I think like ultimately, like with your knowledge, if you're doing it the right way and you're staying focused in your craft,
then you know.
And you have nothing to be worried about. If I'm so involved in my craft or so like just like engorged almost like in my craft or whatever it is I'm supposed to be doing, I'm not concerned or worried about passing off, you know what I mean, like that info or giving that advice.
That's kind of like that Nicki Minaj and Cardi B beef. Like I'm the queen. Well, if you are, why are you worried about someone else?
Why are you worried about me over here?
You should be.
But you know what? I also feel like that was because for the longest time when she came out, she was the only one.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's easy to be the only one. So you're the best because you're the only one.
But you know what's beautiful?
What?
I heard that I don't follow too much, but I just
you look at this every day. I don't follow.
I just kind of scrolled past this article that said that Cardi was supposed to have Meg Thee Stallion open up for her tour. I thought that was beautiful.
Yeah.
Because that just shows the right.
There can be exactly. This is how it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
And then, not only that, if she's thinking strategically, Meg Thee Stallion is gonna bring in a completely different audience, that Southern audience. Now you got them, and now you have all Cardi's people from the North. You know what I mean? Like, so it's gonna be like a.
That concert was lit.
Oh my gosh!
I can't
Don't
go.
you know
Send me the DVD.
Oh right, I can't be around that many people.
Go.
Oh, my anxiety. Do we still have folks tuning in?
Y'all
we got some comments. Thank you guys so much for continuing to tune in. How many people we got live? 4 folks. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and watching us. This is episode 3 of Reality Check.
Trey.
Oh, Trey. So I think ultimately we have to say, okay, so what is the moral of the story?
The moral of the story is check your motives, check your mindset, your patience, check yourself.
Ooh!
Put that on a t-shirt.
That's good. All of that?
All of it.
I like his cleanse.
Right?
Absolutely. All of that wrapped up into one. And take your experiences. Yeah. Don't be afraid. That's always going to be one of my big ones. Just kind of like rebuking that fear. Mm-hmm. Because you can do it. Honing in on your passion and your craft and knowing. And because that's real. I mean, this is very realistic. It's harsh, but it's real. You're going to fail. But the failure is actually... Exactly. Failure is not final. And the failure is actually in you giving up and quitting anyway. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Yeah. And missing out on your calling and just going back to comfortability because it's so easy to do that thing. Yes. Patience was another big one, like you said. Just being patient and just trusting the process. Mm-hmm. Because that is going to really show you some things, teach you some lessons, and allow you to really appreciate the success. Yes. Once it's all said and done.
And being present in the process.
Oh, yeah.
Not getting lost.
Yeah. Not getting lost in it and not trying to speed past it. Yeah. Experience this moment. Live in it.
So then the next time you go through this, you can ease through.
Girl, we've been here before.
Yep. And get through the bigger mountains.
Absolutely. Yeah. Ooh, that's good.
We're dropping gems today.
All of them. Boom. That's what we need, the sound effect. The DJ Clue bomb. Or the bing, 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 bing.
I don't like those horns.
I love them. No. Actually, they make me want to dance.
I don't like them.
Anyway, y'all.
I want them to sound. Boom, 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 boom.
I'm Rae.
I'm Favor.
And this is your Reality Check.